So, this is my another cartoon review. Uh, this time of Ed, and Eddy. This is probably when I was a kid, this was probably the cartoon show I watched the most on Cartoon Network. It's very creative. The idea behind Ed and Eddy is very creative. These three guys, all basically named Ed, pretty much, scam all the kids in this cul-de-sac they live in, so that they can make money to buy jawbreakers. And I was sad as a kid when I could never find a jawbreaker the size of the ones in the show, where it's just like, oh, I wanted a jawbreaker that big, but they don't get made that big, unfortunately. And then, probably, honestly, my favorite character from the show was probably Plank. Everybody loves Plank. But no, it was Eddy, really, because Eddy was the one that got the most laughs out of me as a kid. And he was one that always came up with the ridiculous ideas to scam the kids of the cul-de-sac and get the money, you know. Sure, Double D had to build all this stuff, but Eddy was the thinker. Oh, the plotter. He plotted what they were going to do, and Double D would try to make it work, and really come close to making it work. All of his inventions Double D's inventions were just like amazing. But, dude, I don't even think. And it just proves that Double D is not actually all that smart as a person, because if he was smart, he would have realized that he could have sold those inventions and been able to buy millions of jawbreakers, but oh well. I think Ed was probably my least favorite out of the three main characters. Ed, Double D, and Eddy. Ed was my least favorite because, well, he was your generic idiot, really, is all he was. So, yeah. The other kids never really stood out in the beginning, but once you got further into this show, I started to like them as characters. The animation style was, I always liked the animation style of Ed and Eddy. It's so creative and unique, because I don't think there were any other shows really looked like Ed and Eddy and had the character designs similar to Ed and Eddy at that time. Now, if only Cartoon Network made more shows like this, they'd be like on the top of the world right now. And honestly, I think they are, as far as cartoons go. But they'd be a lot better off right now than they are. If I could find something wrong with the show, and it would probably just be a nitpick, I would probably say that after they went to school, like after the school arc started, it was kind of like, it wasn't that typical Ed and Eddy feel to it anymore. It wasn't like just about the schemes that we come up with, and I just felt like that kind of took away the point of Ed and Eddy. Not that this school, not once they started going to school that it was terrible or anything. No, it was still fairly good. It just wasn't as good as the episodes that came before that. And then I think the Kanker sisters are probably one of the perfect foils in history. Just the perfect sort of like opposite to the Eds, like I wouldn't say villains, because I never really saw them as villains in the show, more an extra comedy addition to the show is really what I always saw them as. You know, the Canker sisters, man, just awesome. I do wish there was like more focus on like and the like more focus on the plotting and all that for the schemes they're gonna pull off, but because it started to like more episodes like that where they're just pulling off the scheme here or there. But I did enjoy the break from that every now and then. To do something else. I think probably one of my favorite episodes actually was probably where they want to go see that movie, the robot movie, and they end up thinking they got lost on the planet, and there's that robots are attacking them and all that in the junkyard. I really like that episode. I don't really think the music of the show stood out to me. I don't really remember much of it being, you know, it's not like oh my god, it's amazing type stuff. It was kind of just average. That didn't take away from the show's appeal, though. It really didn't. The show is really character and base, and they're not having really good music written added in. It's not going to affect the show at all. In fact, I think the show is better off without too much musical scores in it. So I would have to say Ed, and Eddy is as close to perfection as you're probably going to get out of the early Cartoon Network cartoons. Which is why I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 thumbs up. It's a really good show, fun to watch. If you haven't seen it yet, you haven't begun to live, but no, do check it out. It's worth a watch. And thanks for watching.